Hola. Today I will talk about humanity's purpose. Life has both an inner and an outer purpose. The inner purpose is to awaken to who I am, transform in consciousness, and disseminate this truth consciousness. I cannot make awakening happen. Awakening happens by grace without any forced doing on my part. Once the process of awakening has begun, it cannot be reversed, although it can be delayed by the ego. With the grace of awakening comes responsibility, because I can no longer go on as if nothing has happened. Hola, from Colombia. With the present great world confusion, I wish to do my part to accelerate the evolution of human consciousness. Please help by subscribing and sharing these videos. Thank you. I believe that my first moments of awakening started in February 2002. Since then, no matter how often I was told that I would eventually be in serious trouble with the government, I could not stop myself from walking this path. I recognized that something was happening to me. I felt its significance, but I did not consciously understand it. Only now, almost 20 years later, I have a deeper understanding of consciousness, and I know that I am contributing in bringing its light into this world. This is now the outer purpose of my life. I still don't know any of the details, but I trust and know that I will do exactly what I must do at the perfect time. I realize that my entire life journey consists of the step I am taking at this moment. The step is primary and the destination is secondary. Most of the relationships of my life have dissolved, but new relationships will be created. This period I am living now is one of insecurity and uncertainty, but I can live with that insecurity and even to try to consciously enjoy it, because when I become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities will open up, because there will be little or no more fear. Transformation goes far beyond what human mind can imagine or comprehend. I know that on planet Earth, this is the time that transformation will take place. Until now, human intelligence has been used to build bombs, kill, manipulate, and enslave. This is insanity, or at best, extremely unintelligent. This insanity is threatening the survival of humanity and the planet. Our natural impulse is to create and not destroy. Creation is a high, intensive level of energy, but it is not hard work. It is not stressful. We are in the middle of a momentous event of transformation of human consciousness, and a more evolved being is emerging. Purposeful action involves acceptance, enjoyment, and enthusiasm. Sometimes I cannot enjoy the moment, but at least I can accept it or change it. I make the present moment the focal point of my life, and this allows me to enjoy the now. I don't know the details of my outer purpose, but I'm looking forward with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm has a very high frequency and it resonates with creative power of the universe. I am creatrix. I will sustain enthusiasm because with enthusiasm, there are no winners or losers. And enthusiasm and ego cannot coexist. Each human being is an integral part of the collective human consciousness. We all have a deep effect on creation. A new species is arising on planet Earth, and it will manifest soon. I'm walking the path towards transformation of human consciousness because it is not only the end of suffering and continuous conflict within me, it is the end of mind enslavement, incessant thinking and analyzing. What liberation! As I started to consciously observe myself as the thinker, I realized that all the things that truly matter, love, joy, peace, serenity, beauty, creativity, enthusiasm, they all arise from someplace beyond the mind. I consciously listen to the ego voice in my head as often as I realize that I am in that mode, and then I laugh at myself. Most thinking is repetitive and completely useless. This thinking is harmful because it is dysfunctional, negative nature. Thinking is not consciousness. It is only a very small portion of consciousness. Thought cannot exist without consciousness, but consciousness does not need human thought. It is so much more than just human thought. When I'm conscious, I use thinking for practical purposes, but I am free of the constant internal dialogue, which keeps me imprisoned in emotional stress. Creative intelligence is far beyond mind. It comes from supermind or supraconscient. True love, joy, and peace all arise from beyond regular mind. True love is not the mind-created love, the addictive, possessive, clinging love most individuals feel. This is the true love that does not have an opposite. Hate is the opposite of mind-created love. This is why most love relationships turn into hate relationships so quickly and fall apart. What people commonly call joy is a short-lived state of pleasure in the pain-pleasure cycle. This pleasure comes from something outside of me. True joy and peace arise from inside of me, from my soul. As long as individuals are unconscious, they will live in pain. Resentment, hate, anger, self-pity, guilt, depression, jealousy, irritation, they are all forms of pain. every emotional high will eventually turn into an emotional low. A drug high will turn into a low. Therefore, the pleasure turns into pain. The higher the level of euphoric high, the lower the descent will be into deep pain, because it has to reflect the exact opposite energy. The search for a prolonged, sustained high is always on, and yet it cannot be achieved through mind. It can only be achieved through soul. The cosmic orgasm is attainable in paradise on earth. The accumulated pain is negative energy that is part of the physical, vital, and mind body. The pain body wants to survive, and it can only survive if it feeds on more pain. The food comes through the individual in the form of emotional energy that creates further pain, anger, destruction, hatred, grief, emotional drama, violence, which then turns into illness. Pain can only feed on pain. It cannot feed on joy. These opposite energy levels are completely incompatible. This is why the individual driven by his pain body can be called insane. The observer, which is any other individual that is not in pain at that moment, can see the action of the pain body driven individual as completely irrational, ridiculous, and therefore insane. Once a pain body has taken over the body, it always wants more pain because it is the food required for survival. The individual is a victim of his own created pain. If this individual became conscious of this pattern, the pattern would dissolve instantaneously. It is insane to want more pain. And this is why the individual is unconscious, because nobody can be consciously insane. I'm in joy and enthusiasm as I'm sharing this, because I am contributing to breaking egotistical mind patterns that have dominated human life for eons. These mind patterns are the reason for the extreme suffering we are experiencing on a vast scale. I'm contributing to the breaking of these mind patterns of unconsciousness or insanity. I know I am learning through the challenges of my tests. We can all become purposeful contributors to the elimination of the mess in this polluted world filled with insanity. This is part of my outer purpose. Suffering through this role of a slave has a noble purpose: the evolution of my consciousness and the dissolving of my ego. Once the ego is under my conscious governance, I can consciously play various roles. There is a purpose to more and more suffering on earth. This suffering provides the needed springboard to force more and more individuals to awaken. Thank you, COVID. Enthusiasm resonates with the creative power of the universe. I am looking forward with enthusiasm and knowing that the transformation of human consciousness is advancing. COVID is creating the necessary suffering for all of humanity because we are in the midst of this momentous event. People hope for a life that is easy and marvelous. Life was never meant to be easy. We are all here on a mission to transform in consciousness. Everything passes, dissolves away, except for my inner purpose. When I planned to come into this life, no one guaranteed me I would have a happy, carefree time. The more unity I have with my soul, the more I feel that nothing is more important than accomplishing my transformation in this lifetime. Infinite love.